Good day to everyone. Welcome to the CEN show, a platform where we learn from the world community. I'm your host, Roski Mascani. And on our panel this evening, we have Brother XP, got Professor Amin Ra, Brother Mashinda, and Pink. Our guest this evening is Ahsa, a gentleman that I've known for many years. He does a lot of things. He's a musician, and I think he's an electrician. I know he does some type of electrical work, and he's also a food nutritional researcher. Many years ago, he had visited one of my classrooms, and he was lecturing the kids on food, the nutrition of food. So, excellent individual. He came on about a month and a half ago and had an excellent show, and I expect the same from him. Brother Asa, welcome back. And go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and get started.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty much everybody on here knows me. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about anything other than I started researching food in the early '90s. I met Dr. Sabi, and he inspired me to start researching it. And I started researching, and it just blew up on me, and um, it ended up turning into a full-fledged business where I had an office, and I ended up having a business and then a herbal shop. I mean, herbal company, all in one. It just morphed into all that. I shut it down a few years ago because I didn't have the energy and time to keep it going and put into it. And the brother that I had that was running it out of Sacramento, California, he passed away. So since he transitioned, I just was like, let me just let it go, and I'm gonna go ahead and just live my life. When COVID hit, it kind of opened up the doors for everything because people started calling me like night and day, asking, my opinion on it, asking me for information on it and everything. So I had to go into deep research on. And so that kind of got me back in the game again. So, I'm researching and doing what I have to do. So that's it.
So our topic this evening is killing our families in the name of love. So if you could talk about that topic, that'll be good.
Okay, so killing our families in the name of love was something I had come up with many, many years ago. And I used to do all my lectures when I was doing a lecture, like circuit, and I would title them killing our families in the name of love. And then I started to write a book, and I titled that Killing Our Families in the Name of Love. And so the energy behind that has stayed with me up until now. And since the information isn't known by, everybody, a lot of people hear the information that I share, and it's new to them, and it actually blows their mind. And so I just figured, oh well, I can just keep saying killing our families in the name of love, you know. So I'm just keeping that as an ideology to speak about the things that I speak about in relationship to health and food. Uh, in my writings, I'm showing that we people in general, we do things because we have family and friends and loved ones, and we do things. We have festive occasions, parties, and celebrations for all sorts of events, and in those celebrations, the things that basically we promote to ingest are generally toxic substances that are going to break you down on a cellular level and create degenerative diseases in you. And so that's where the premise of killing our families in the name of love, that's where that comes from. You know what I mean? Because if you if we had the proper knowledge and proper energy and spirit in our heads in relationship to health, on festive occasions, we wouldn't be feeding people refined sugars, and sodas and just all sorts of acidic substance things that break you down on a cellular level. So, um, that's where the premise and the name of the killing our families in the name of love. That's where that energy manifested from. So, what do you want? I could talk more about like last time I was on, I spoke about the food and things, and there might be people that are on tonight that didn't hear that. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know if you have questions that you want to ask me
Well,
specifically. Go ahead.
well, let me jump in on that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, the premise of that title.
Hmm.
And I had to come into realization that the things that I was doing as far as my value system, the things that I value, I started off in high school and there was that culture of drinking
Hmm.
and and we got a rush out of it as if it was a sport and it becomes a practice that's learned from our society. And so we value liquor. And when you ingest liquor, you create issues. And it also sensationalizes some things that you normally wouldn't sensationalize. So I'm looking at that and I'm looking at similar situations, how we eat. Uh, what like you said, celebrations. We're celebrating, but we also damaging. It's a heck of a mental thing to accept things that are incorrect and then justify them also.
Hmm.
It's a form of mental illness, and
That's
we
what we
and
do.
it's inherited from what we value and
Exactly.
what we've learned in this system that we live in. So that's I can identify with what you're saying, and it took me years.
Hmm.
Professor Amiraz speaks a lot about certain things. He never tell you what you shouldn't do, but he also says that he gives you information that makes sense. But then, like I said again, I was under his tutelage for years before I started understanding fully what he was saying. And that's just it's a societal thing that we do things that don't make sense at all. And we just keep doing it. And then we try to justify it. That's the thing. Oh, we come up with all kind of excuses for doing what we do. And we got to make ourselves feel good about ourselves. So
Hmm.
I'm right there with you. So if you could further kind of get into that, and then we
Yeah.
could go around it. Well, let me see if people have questions so far,
Mm.
because it kind of opens it up for more participation from the panel. I'm gonna
Well,
start off. Go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna, it's like when in my writing, I was saying like, we have names of endearment. Like people will be calling people like, "Hey, sugar," you know what I mean? And, oh, hey, dumpling, you know what I mean? And hey, cupcake, hey, cookie, So things that we don't consciously think that are toxic, they use those things as terms of endearment. That's also part of that whole energy about killing our families in the name of love. You know what I mean? And we need to disconnect from those ideologies. But go ahead with questions. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll go around the panel. I'm gonna start off with brother XP. Brother XP, you have any comments or question about the topic so far?
No, so far I'm good. No, I'm good. Not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna go to is this Hida?
Yeah, Tahita.
Tahita? Are you there? You want to unmute?
She's probably
He's moving
doing something.
around, look like
Yeah.
okay. Brother Ahi?
I'm here.
Oh,
Oh,
Tahita?
Tahita.
Have you been
Greetings.
greetings? Do you have a question or comment about what we're talking about?
No, not yet, but I'm happy Ahsa told me about it so I could join in and listen and learn.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
come back to you. Brother Ahi?
Uh, Okay.
Same here.
Okay.
All right. We have excuse me. Oh, Lucy? Lucy, do you want to unmute? All right, I'll come back later. Brother Mashinda?
No, I'm listening.
Okay. Professor Amin Ra.
Yeah, Bonnie Ghani brothers and sisters is on the line. I want to say Asante Sana, which is thank you for your presentation so far. You know, and then I'll ask you a question after I preference thing. I like the title of your book and the concept of your book. If it's dealing with educating people on the role that eating affects you mentally and physically and spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
then I understand from that standpoint because some people say women kill their husbands and children with a frying pan, not hitting them with it, cooking the stuff with it and frying in that grease and most of the stuff and with salt and sugar. And that many babies are addicted to salt and sugar, like some crackheads are addicted to crackhead. By the time they get to a certain age, there's no turning back unless they get some therapy. Because the best cure to any problem is prevention. And we've been miseducated about the role of nutrition by emulating, as Rashiki said, European lifestyles and European nutrition. You can't argue there are people that kill people and destroy people that didn't do nothing to them, just to take their stuff. They got mental illness, and it's all about greed and all about their lifestyle. I think this guy named John Bailey, I believe it was, wrote a book, The Iceman Inherited, and he talked about why he's white. It made him change the book from a history book to a historical novel because he laid it out why white people are so aggressive and so destructive. And he was saying that, they grew up hunting for food because they were in the wilderness of north where ice and nothing would grow. And so they brought that eating habit to wherever they went, killing animals and eating animals. I mean, most people, eat seeds and eat berries and they're food gatherers, not food hunters. Many people are. So my point is that the role of this society in its commercialization of and making salt and sugar so cheap. I mean, I've seen people pull out hot sauce bottles before they even taste their food.
Mm-hmm.
Pull out salt shakers before they even taste their food. So I understand, and you don't think your mother is poisoning you or getting you addicted to a drug, but salt and sugar is a drug. She loves you, but she thinks that those things are what you're supposed to eat. And we all came up many of us came up in that environment where our parents didn't have the education that we have today. So only thing we can do is pass it on to our children in the name of love and teach them you can make it a cultural apparatus and a cultural practice. Like Islam, they say they don't eat pork, even though there's wiener schnitzels and hot dog stands everywhere, pink and everything, because it's part of their culture. Their theocracy culture, theology culture. And I think, but part of our African culture, we should begin to teach our children that if you don't want diabetes, if you don't want high blood pressure, if you don't want other crippling diseases, then you need to eat not just vegetables and fruits and nuts and berries, but you also should exercise and always keep your body in shape. And that's very crucial. So the book, In the Name of Killing Us in the Name of Love, to me, embraces that theme that I just gave you. That, our mothers and fathers love us, and they're feeding us and not knowing that they are contributing to our health problems in the future. And sometimes before the future, kids get cancer, they be obese, they be having heart issues, and they would go through a lot, and they want to blame it on everything except for what they fed them. And fathers eat in front of the kids. I know men used to get a big platter. They didn't eat off a plate; they ate off a platter. And just too much food. Like 3 meals a day off a platter. That's heavy. And next thing you know, you're in a chair and you can't get out of it. So I want to thank you for that title.
Mm.
And the question is how do we correct it? What is your suggestion?
Well, that's a, how they say, an uphill battle. It just begins at home. It begins at, parents being, getting an education in truth and related to, diet and food. And there's plenty of people now starting to come out publicly and speak about, what we eat more now than ever. But, even, this is like, I'm just scratching the surface with y'all and with people right now and bringing this information forward again. Like I said, I used to do it, and now I'm starting to do it again. But the average, let's say the average vegan, they don't really know food, because the same people that had programmed us to eat what we eat, that's killing us, that falls under the auspice of killing our families in the name of love. They're the ones supplying information on the food and that we think that we're eating is good. The produce, the fruits, the vegetables. You know what I mean? So they're supplying with information on that, and it's all really, when you get into it, is because they control it. It's monetized, and so they're making money off of it. Is it better than the junk that we're talking about, eating refined sugars and drinking alcohol and eating starches and cake and candy cookies, all that kind of stuff? Is much better than that. But even the way that we're going, dealing with fruit and vegetables, is becoming detrimental now. There's all sorts of things they're doing to it. Back in the 80s, they were splicing animal genes into spinach and tomatoes and different vegetables. So, what are you going to do? And it's like I keep telling everybody, you have to learn how to cleanse. You have to learn how to cleanse. That's the equalizer. If you learn how to cleanse, you learn how to fast, you learn how to clean your body, detox, do enemas, clean your blood, things like that, then that's what's going to combat all the negative stuff that's going in, because there's nothing you can do about the negative going in 100%. You know what I mean? Because everything's contaminated, defiled to some degree or another, just from environmental toxins. So you got to really learn how to clean your body out and everything else. But, I want to really start helping people really understand what, as far as food, what they're eating, is it the detrimental sides of it? Why is it detrimental? Because it doesn't grow in nature. I don't think it wasn't the last show I did here. I think I did another show a few months ago, and someone asked me about ginger, and because I actually love ginger, the taste of it, but there's nowhere on the planet Earth that ginger has ever been found growing in nature, and so that should like blow, that should spark somebody's mind to say, well, it's not found in nature. Wait a minute, and that should just kind of spring some curiosity in you to say, well, where does it come from? What I don't know exactly where it comes from, you know what I mean? But I can tell you that it definitely doesn't come from nature. It's not found in nature. It doesn't follow any normal growing patterns of nature, of a natural food. But, we eat it and everything else in abundance, and people like it. People put it in their food and everything else. Most of the things commercially that we eat are like that. They're not, most of them really aren't found in nature. And as I think I was saying this the last time I was on, if you go to the grocery store and you walk through the produce aisles, how many of those things that you see in the produce aisles at the grocery store can be found growing wild in nature? Not hardly any, very, very few. So you have to understand that the grocery store is just an outlet for substance that's being sold as food that's being monetized. Somebody's making millions and billions of dollars off it, So we have to go back and start studying and understanding and research grow out of nature that are beneficial to us, that sustain us on a cellular level. Anybody have any questions at this point?
Well, we have three people that came in, and before I go to them, I want to say that this is one of my points. You would actually have to change your life, which we call lifestyle, in order to get a sufficient amount of real food, as in growing it yourself, dealing with other people who grow food. There has to be a whole lifestyle change in order to do things of this nature. And then you mentioned that with the cleansing, that kind of gives it some type of balance. Is that true? Where you could, get rid of these toxins that's not good for the body. Is that a sufficient statement?
That's a definite truth.
Okay.
Because people don't really understand the magnitude of the human body. The human body is a self-regenerating machine. The human body is basically an immortal machine. You know what I mean? It was designed to basically last indefinitely. But because of our ignorance and things that we've done, we're now living in a state of degeneration that destroys the human body. You understand? Um, and it's by design. You know what I mean? That there's powers that are trying to destroy us, that want us destroyed. I hear it all the time. I hear Bill Gates talking about, we need to reduce the population of so many, billion people or something. And, that's just an indication of what is trying to be done. And so the way to really combat it is to get your education, start to learn, start to understand what is here to sustain you in nature. You understand? Nature, that's the purpose of nature. Nature is here to sustain you. You understand? So, what they've done is they've coined the term natural food, and they are putting all this substance that's really unnatural and selling it to you under the guise of natural food. You understand? But that stuff that they're selling you is not natural. You understand? It is not a direct byproduct of nature, where nature gave it to you directly, and you're supposed to just ingest it and have your body get life. It's not like that anymore. So they just tell you, oh, it's natural, it's natural. Why? Because they developed it. They can plant it in the ground and it'll grow, and they sell it to you under the guise that, oh, it grew out of the ground, it's natural. But that's not the case. I don't know. I think last time I was explaining to people, when I used to do my lectures before, I used to tell people all the time that every time you eat a carrot, you're supporting the destruction of the environment and the cycles of life in the earth and in the region that carrot was grown. And people were like, "What are you talking about?" I said, first of all, carrots are unnatural. They're not found, and you can just Google this if you haven't heard this before. Carrots were developed in Holland, in a laboratory in Holland. And in order for a carrot to grow, you have to kill something that's in nature and plant what they develop in the ground. And so that's why I was saying, I think on the last program, that, if you amass some land or get some, if you can't, you get some land and you want to start planting a garden on that land, you need to thoroughly find out what plants are growing on that land before you start killing and removing plants, so that you can plant some hybrid or, pharmaceutically developed seed on your land. And because all land has natural flora that grows there, that has divine purpose, is put there for a reason, for the cycles of life in that environment. And once you start removing that stuff and planting in stuff that you just want to eat, kale and collard greens and all that kind of stuff, you're destroying nature. You know what I mean?
Ahsa,
yes,
can I jump in right here?
sure.
Okay, so now how would one go about finding out the natural things that's growing in those type of areas? You move to an area or you move to a home. How do
Okay.
you suppose to get that type of information?
It's very easy. First of
Okay,
all,
okay,
okay, I'm going to break it down.
all
First of
right.
all, right now, there's well, I don't know what tons, but there's a few apps that you can just download on your phone that are plant identifiers. And they're very good, actually, very good. And you can start identifying take pictures of the plants and get them identified. Then you can even go into deeper research on those particular plants that are growing. Because I do it all the time, because I have one of the apps on my phone. But I know there's several. I don't know how many that are out there, but what's the name of the one I have? I'll look it up in a minute. but I use it like all the time. Anytime I come across a tree, a plant that I'm unfamiliar with, no matter where I am, I take a picture, it identifies the plant, then I go into researching that plant. I Google that plant and research it and find out, as much information that I can get on that particular plant.
And you could get to the point where you know if it was naturally grown, if it was growing there naturally versus not.
Yeah, yeah, because you have to do
Yeah.
your homework on it. But so like if you identify, say you get one of those apps and you hit on the plant, it'll tell you certain ones. It'll tell you the plant, if it's a weed, if it's invasive. It'll tell you all sorts of stuff about the plant. Shows you pictures of the particular plant, and then you can go and substantiate it by Googling the plant. And I always Google the plant, hit images, make sure the image of that plant comes up, right? Then I start doing as much research as I can on that particular plant. I don't just rely on like Wikipedia, because Wikipedia sometimes is off. So I go to as many sites as I can find, much information. I got plenty of books, so I'll go into book research and everything on that particular plant, because a lot of people don't even know, what they have that they're destroying. You could have plants that take cancer out of your body in a heartbeat, you know what I mean? And take diabetes out of you. All sorts of stuff that's out there, you know what I mean? Like people have, there's a plant that I see all the time, it was a flower, hydrangea. Hydrangea will take stones, kidney stones, gallstones out of you so quickly, it's mind blowing. But people don't realize that, and I see it in people's yards all the time. So it's just learning what you have growing in your yard. you know I'm on this thing right now where I'm drinking XP will tell you, right? XP cactus pear juice. And I used to sell it in LA, and I used to bottle it and sell it in LA. And so now I found a place to get it in Atlanta area, and I started juicing it and bottling it, and I'm drinking it myself. And then I shared it with a few people, and people are like, wow, this is really good. And so people are wanting this cactus pear juice. But if you really look around and you're conscious about plants, when you just traveling around in your daily activities, you'll see that there's cactus growing all over the place. In Atlanta, it grows all over the United States. And if you look on the cactus, you see that little egg-shaped little thing on the top of the cactus leaf. That's cactus pear, prickly pear. And that makes one of the most delicious juices you could ever imagine having in your life. And it is so good for you, you know. So, just know it's just you can't be lazy about this. You got to be proactive, and you got to go out and really find out what's growing on your land.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, man. Interesting. I want to get to some people that just showed up, and I'm gonna start out with Colette. Colette, you want to unmute? Oh, okay. I'm gonna go to Sister Adama. Welcome,
Uh-oh.
Sister Adama.
Greetings, how are you?
Oh, I'm
I'm in trouble
good.
now.
Good, good to see you here.
Oh, thank you.
So you want to contribute to what Ahsa's talking about?
Yeah, Asa is my main brother there. He is.
Behave.
And I have to bring some fire to it, because really the issue for me is that we are kind of like soft shoeing and half-assing about what we really need to be about right now.
Right, Harold.
In the escalation of the genocide. Now, I want people to look at, if you've not already seen it, I want you to watch Raoul Peck's eliminate all the brutes. Exterminate, it's exterminate all the brutes. It is the most succinct historical, I think, video documentary that is shorter, but it really goes into a lot of the detail as to what's happening in terms of the warfare against the whole of humanity. But we can know that we're being warred against, but the behavior modification that has happened with the assault of these chemicals upon ourselves has put us in a position where we are not responding intensely enough to realize that the whole point of the genocide is to literally phase our lineages out of existence. And that there's purpose in being on the planet, in ensuring the continuation, the exaltation, and the progression of our lineages. And so, you know, I do think that Mother Earth, Mother Nature, we are connected to it divinely, and that as we're clearing, cleansing, purifying, consecrating, reestablishing the body to be 80% highly charged, mineralized water, and infusing the love of God within every fiber of our being, that Mother Earth will produce whatever it is we require. It'll show up around us. You know, but just are coming to a point where we want to be cleansed. I just haven't seen people who really take responsibility for realizing that the body is literally cleansing daily, which is why we're so refreshed when we brush our teeth and bathe. But we do that every day. And I'm just becoming aware of people who don't bathe and brush their teeth every day, but most of us will. That even even in a death culture, most of us will be really refreshed when we bathe and brush our teeth. The issue is that whatever's going in the mouth is going down the throat into the rest of the body, but we're cleaning the outside of the body, but we are leaving the inside of the body filled with all of this garbage, which is the foundation of all disease.
Exactly.
Okay, that's excellent, Sister Dharma. All right, we got a few people here, so I want to make sure I get to everybody, or at least give them an attempt to say something or ask a question. Brother Chiwara?
Yes, brother. And brother Ahsa and
What's going on?
positive vibrations, man. This is very interesting because it's so important, you know. I mentioned of a lifestyle change, as brother Rasaki mentioned, you know, and I'd like to take it to another level. It's really a mindset change, or we call it new faculty of thinking, has to occur. But this has to be a radical change. It can't be no thing where we, you know, for those who can't do radical, I guess they have to make it to do the best they can. But at the pace of things right now, Sister Dharma saying this is critical right now. You know, it has to be a radical change, because this radical change is what is the God order. No longer is man being left to make a choice, although he still has choice to make. But what we call God, which is really energy, the ability to do work, cannot be created or destroyed, immortality, has made an order that we must change. And it has to be a radical change. No more tolerating this and tolerating that and all this. And that's in order to usher in the God-man rather than the man-God. Because what's happening now, everybody's in a man-God state of mind, where it's all a belief system. It ain't real. What really exists is the God-man, because it is this energy that is within all of us and all of nature and all of creation. That is who we are. God-man, the God-woman, and that's capital G. To say God man is the same as saying the energetic man, the energetic woman. Our relationship with the earth is very important, as Brother Ahsa spoke about. There is so much medicine that the earth is throws at us every season, and we don't even recognize it. Only thing we recognize and acknowledge is Kroger's, Publix, Aldi, and all of these destructive, false, energetic consciousness. We have to begin to recognize the connection between the brain and the mind, and that there is a relationship there. And this relationship is not fictitious. It is absolutely, unequivocally, 1,000,000% realer than you and I, realer than us on this Zoom call. The mind and the brain must reestablish this relationship. It's the same as saying, as Sister Donald and Brother Ahsa said during this presentation, reconnect to earth. Have a relationship with the earth. It's the realest relationship that you can have. I have to when the last time I went to Focus and bought greens. Yesterday my meal was purslane. This is something that comes all on its own. There's no farmers are necessary here. Just go to the earth, recognize it, see it, partake. Trust the earth. We must begin to redevelop our trust in the earth. That what the earth brings to us is for us. We have to begin to look into that. And as Brother Ahsa said, we have to do our research. You can't just, listen to what I say, listen to what Brother Ahsa said, listen to what Sister Adama said. We have to be self-motivated. Google, get the app, research, get into it. I've seen a plant today. I pulled it up, and something told me take a picture of it and find out what it is. I did, and it's not only something for our health and for our healing, but it also serves the purposes for the other creatures like the birds and stuff like that. And this is so important that we have this relationship. That's the only way we can combat what's going on. We have to radically stop. Just stop. Cold turkey, stop. Stop dealing with them. Stop messing with them. And take an active role in what we accept into our bodies and into our minds. That's my contribution for right now.
Yeah, appreciate that, Brother Jawara. Ahsa, you wanted to say something?
No, I mean, he's 100% right. What plant did you find? That's what I want to know.
Well, the one that I found today,
Yeah.
Since I really don't study like that to hold things in, I'd have to go and look it back up in my phone.
Okay.
But it's one that is all over Georgia. It's all over.
Okay.
I'm in Stone Mountain, and I'm more than willing to let you and send it to you. The stuff that I do, I take the amaranth that I buy at the Whole Foods or the farmer's market, and I just throw it on the ground.
That's what you do.
The amaranth is callaloo in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
and it just grows, and I just all I do is take care of it, and I get it. And that's my green, I get dandelion, I eat that. Purslane, I eat that. Poke salad, I eat that. Wild lettuce. I haven't eaten from the supermarket like that in about, the only thing I go to the supermarket get is organic avocado and mangoes and stuff like that. But like as far as greens is concerned, no, I don't, and it's a whole lot different. It's much better.
Oh, definitely.
Big change, But
Purslane is delicious. Man, I love purslane. It's like so full of water. I mean, it's just like so refreshing. It's cool. It's like you chew it and just kind of pops water in your mouth. You know what I mean?
And you can eat it raw or you can eat it slightly sauteed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I eat the
Okay.
wild blackberry, you know, and so
Can
Mm-hmm.
can you describe it and spell it?
oh, first thing,
P-U-R-S. Oh yeah.
yeah.
P
Go ahead, brother.
P It's P-U-R-S-L-A-N-E.
Yeah,
Um,
like, yeah.
what's the name of it in Spanish? Gordolo? I can't remember the Spanish name, but some markets have it. I think
Yeah.
the Patel Brothers Market,
Yeah, that's a pretty
the
good place.
Indian market over on I think it's on Church Street in Decatur. It's called Patel
Yeah,
Brothers.
yeah,
They
yeah.
carry it sometimes. I don't know if Decab carries it. But
What
Decab
does
does
it look
carry
like?
palatable.
What does it look like?
Google it, and
Yeah.
because it's hard to describe. It's a
It's
creeper. It's a creeping ground plant. It stays
yeah,
low to the ground. It has a small kind of like oval, like almost like an egg, elongated egg shaped leaf. Um, and sometimes the branches of it are like a pinkish kind of color,
yeah.
like a gold to pinkish kind of color. And it grows. It just grows. I mean, it grows. I'm actually the house I'm in one day. I'm in right now. I walked outside and there's some planters
They look
outside.
like teeny jades. They look
It
like
does
they,
look
teeny
like some
jades.
kind of. It does look like something in the jade family. Yep.
yes, it does. You
Okay,
know,
well,
the other day I saw a plant growing,
Brother
and
Chihuahua,
somebody said, yes,
let me get to the next two people,
okay,
and then we'll start because this time is moving on us. I want to make sure I want to hit everybody, see if they have a question or comment. Okay, this is Spurgeon Brown. iPhone with Spurgeon Brown. Okay, you're muted. No. Then we have Tess McGee. Tess, unmute. Right. Okay, I'm gonna come back to a few other people that didn't have a question or comment, see if they have one now. Brother XP,
No, I'm good. Just learning.
okay. Tahita, okay. And the person with the iPhone that gave the description of jade, you have a question or comment? No. Brother Mashinda, right? And Lucy.
Hello, my name is Lucy. I want to ask a question about the natural foods. Is natural foods kind of like what he said, the cactus or the perlan
Personally,
electric foods? Is those
Yes.
considered electric foods?
Yes. Yes.
So that's what we want to do. Is it a list of electric foods where we can eat that we can eat?
I have a little list, but I don't know. Like I don't know if Adama, you have a food list. Um, Sabi had a list, people, but it's kind of. I mean, I could share the list that I have. I need to put personal name on it. Um, but I have foods on that aren't 100% natural, but I have foods that won't hurt you. You know what I mean? Because we're at a situation now where unless you really study and research and go to nature and go to harvesting and foraging on your own, you're still going to go to markets and purchase produce and purchase things. So you need to know what are the best things that you can buy to eat that a grocery store or Kroger's or Publix will sell you. And see, that's the key. Um, and so I can supply a list. um, I'll give my email address out And if you're interested, just, email me for the list and I'll just send it to you. If anybody knows me personally, and you want to call me or whatever and ask for the list, I'll get you the list. Um, you know, but the thing, like I keep stressing, and even Adama was stressing, and I have to stress this, is that you have to learn how to cleanse. You have to learn how to fast. You have to learn how to do enemas. You have to learn how to clean your body out the same way you clean your body on the exterior every day. You have to learn how to do it internally. And that's what we're missing, because we were never taught that. We were never taught that as children. And, it's something that we just never were taught. It's not part of the system. It's not part of any curriculum that the system wants you to have or know. You know what I mean? Because it will empower you.
Yes.
And healing is a self thing. I mean, you can't, when you go to somebody else for healing, you're just showing how far away from yourself that you really are. You understand?
Say that.
Because your body is your body. I shouldn't
Right.
be telling you about your body, because it's not mine. But so you go to somebody else. But if you were conscious and you were taught, if you were just brought up knowing how to take care of your body properly, what sustains it, how to clean it internally, then you would have dynamic health and you would live indefinitely. You know what I mean?
Point
You
of
would
it.
know. So that's what it's all about. So this whole thing is an education. It's a process, but like Adama has stressed, and I'm going to stress this: time is running short. This society, this civilization, humanity is under a great attack, and so you have to just basically be strong and be very, very proactive and get as much knowledge as possible and do the things necessary to carry you and your loved ones through, what we're going through and what's getting ready to happen. And that's it. That's all I can really say.
Can I add to that? Is that we grew up hearing certain things. And one of the things that we heard from the time we were knee-high to ducks, thou shalt love thy mother, father, creator, God, thy Lord, with your whole body, heart, mind, with all of your might. We've not seen what that looks like. We've not, and I'm re-emphasizing what Ahsa has said in terms of us not knowing how perfectly and divinely designed we are. We are not the creation of men, but we follow the least of them. We follow the ones that have the least amount of light and wisdom. We do everything that these people tell us to do to the violation of ourselves, not realizing that the spirit is charged on the blood, and the blood is perusing through 100,000 miles of blood vessels, capillaries, veins, and arteries, right? Now, no matter how well you eat, you puncture a particular artery or whatever, you're going to bleed out. So I'm just saying is that at this particular point in time, the blood has to be cleansed, because everything that we're consuming is going to lay foundation for the quality of blood. And the quality of blood is going to lay foundation for the quality of thought. And even if you do research, you are not necessarily able to make the proper inferences in how to apply whatever the knowledge and information is, because the blood is not clean enough to give you the clarity of mind. So we were told to know the truth, and the truth would make us free. Now, we said do research, and I'm saying no, there has to be an inner intensity of intention for absolute truth, because that is going to be our filter for all of the information that we have access to that may not be applicable to our now moment. And so our liberation is not even a conversation that people are having. They're having a conversation about health and wellness. Health and wellness, when you are being exterminated from the face of the earth like freaking roaches, is not the conversation. Our liberation and our right response to the genocide allows us to really go deeper in terms of what we do every day and making the commitments. We didn't come here as dead people. We should not be leaving as dead people. We're already in the realm of eternity. We should be living and loving lawfully and understanding that our blackness is not our salvation. Our blood is going to be our condemnation or our salvation.
Okay.
Point of interest.
Um,
I wanted to add to all that wonderful grand stuff. This is
okay.
Sister
Excuse,
Takoa Tafara. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. I
My,
was gonna say, excuse me. I was gonna say,
yes, sir.
identify yourself, please, and we're gonna get your comment, and then we're gonna go to Ahsa, and then we're gonna close. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm gonna make this brief. I appreciate each one teaching one.
Excuse
Thank
me.
you, Harold.
Can you tell us your
My
name,
brother
please?
Asa Allah. I appreciate this call. Takoa Tafarai Bay. And I just came off of a call with my government youth, so I had come in and call in, and I do gotta pardon myself that I'm gonna get back to our government. I appreciate y'all on this call, and I'm getting a lot out of. Shalom and peace.
Thank you for attending. Okay, Ahsa. Professor Rod, you had a quick comment.
Yeah, I want to ask Ahsa a couple questions. When you say cleansing is very necessary, how you deal with it with children? Do they, is there a certain way they cleanse is different from adults?
No,
So are you,
no, because it's the same thing. You know, they got a body like you. I mean, um, you have to, with children, it's more, I think it's more of a teaching thing and really trying to get, you know, just get them to understand and do it, you know. And it's difficult. It's going to be difficult with children that, especially, you know, with children that don't know. Like my children, um, they grew up on what we call like a mucusless diet. You know what I mean? I didn't let my children, once they were born until they got, I don't know, maybe probably in elementary school did they start eating garbage, you know, but when it was under my control, I didn't let them eat any starches, no dairy, no soy. Oh gosh, I didn't let them eat much of anything, you know, but I
you,
made sure that I kept them nourished because I knew what to feed them. You know, it when once a child gets to an age where they've been kind of eating garbage and junk and everything, then you know they're going to have to be taught that how to do enemas, how the importance of the enemas. You understand? They're going to have to be taught fasting and learn how to fast intermittently, and parents are going to have to do the fasts with them. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just a process, but the children
yeah,
have to get like the adults. Okay, go ahead.
but like Dr. Goss and different people have different ways of cleansing,
Right,
and they have different formulas.
right.
And my point is that how many is there a certain number of bowel movements you should have a day, or is it the cleansing one big bowel movement or two big bowel movements, and that's it? Because a lot of people work, kids be in school, and you know,
Right.
some are hesitant to go to the bathrooms and things that
Mm-hmm.
or can't.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right about
asking
that, bro.
you, what do you see from your study?
Okay.
Your
Bowel movements are crucial, and so I tell people however many times you eat a day, that's how many bowel movements you should have a day. Right now, if you're in a position that you know you're in school and the stuff, and you can't go to the bathroom or you're holding it, which is unhealthy, that's the whole purpose of enemas. You understand? Because the enemas go deep and clean the sediment that's in you, and it cleans stuff that's been in you. If you do them, you get in the habit of doing them all the time, then you'll get things out of you that have been in you for years, you know. And there's a great book called Tissue Cleansing Through Bowel Management. You can look that book up. And I used to used the photos, the pictures from that book when I used to do my lectures, and I blew them up to show people, like, after extensive cleansing of your bowel, what you see that comes out of you is mind blowing. I mean, you parasites, all sorts of stuff that's in you. Stuff that looks like road tar, So it's just, you have to, like with children, it's the parents' responsibility to know and to educate their children and put their children on programs. But it's really educating the children, so as they get older, it becomes a habit and it becomes a lifestyle. Just like Adama was saying, cleansing the exterior of your body, taking a shower every day, brushing your teeth. All that is, you got to consciously think of your body internally and that perspective so that you can have dynamic health. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, but see, the challenge is, that people used to eat prunes, people used to drink 3 6s, and some people do it to stop constipation. That's what they use. Many times they have to use intimates as far as constipation. What I'm talking about, are there natural plants that will cleanse you, or do you have to rely on
no. Okay, that's a good question. All right, so I used to run with Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was anti-enemas because he felt it was an unnatural process. And I understood that. And he used to give herbs and plants and things that would clean you out that way. But when you understand different plants have different purposes, and different plants clean different aspects of the body. You know what I mean? So the main plant he used to use in his formulas was Cascara sagrada, right? Cascara sagrada is a bark from a tree that'll cleanse your bowel. But I was on that bandwagon, so to speak, for a long time, where I felt like, okay, enemas were unnatural, and I'm not going to do those. I'm just going to, take the herbs and eat the plants that will promote me cleansing and having bowel movements and things like that. And I had to come to the realization that in today's world, and what the average person has eaten over time, enemas basically are pretty much like a necessity. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna clean you in a way quicker and deeper, more quickly than doing an herbal protocol. And so, and like I think I mentioned on the last time I was on the program, there's a place called the Gerson Institute down in Mexico, and that's a whole nother story, talking about how it came into being, and Dr. Max Gerson and everything. But if you have any severe diseases and you go to the Gerson Institute down in Mexico, they're going to give you 5 solid, strenuous enemas a day for your healing. So you just have to understand that if you really want to clean the most important part of your body when it comes to cleansing the body, you have to do enemas. You got to clean your colon. You have to keep your whole digestive system and your intestines clean, because that is the major part of your immune system. So that's it.
All right, thanks for that.
Hope I answered it okay.
Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, that was excellent. You guys, with the time running out, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our pause. And also, you're gonna be able to come back, correct?
Oh yeah, anytime. My question, but give people my email address, or
Okay,
so
well,
if
go
anybody
ahead and
wants.
say it slowly, please.
Oh yeah, okay. It's M as in Mary, O, R, C as in cat, E, G, O, B as in boy, E, Y at gmail.com.
One more time, please. One more.
Morsego Bay, MORCEGOBEY at gmail.com.
Okay, that's excellent. This is a good thing. You know, it's a beautiful thing because we're getting more and more shows like this. And next week we have Dr. Goss's daughter, Dr. Sharita you see coming on, and she's going to talk about vegetarianism. So that's the topic for next Wednesday. So this is a beautiful thing. I appreciate everybody coming out. Professor Rock,
Yes,
what do we have for next Tuesday?
man, I'm talking black talk. We're gonna be discussing Kamala.
Kamala Harris?
Yes, and we're gonna be discussing by then she being chosen vice president. And I'll get a feel for where black people are in the political landscape. Participation. It was beautiful how the women came together, raised money, and the men came together. The women raised 1.5, the men raised 1.3, but they started a movement. Now you got white women, white dudes, all raising money for her. And, we're going to discuss Trump at the NAACP, at the Black Journalists Convention. And they had him as a guest speaker, and he walked out. I'll be talking about our freedom and not freedom to choose Jack in the Box or Taco Bell, freedom to be able to free ourselves so we can be ourselves. Yeah. All right.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I look forward to that next week. And everybody, we're on every Tuesday and Wednesday. In 2 weeks, I probably won't be on Wednesday, but normally it's weekly. And if you go to the Community Education Network, as you see behind me, you can see what our topics are. So hopefully we support checking out other topics also. And I just appreciate everybody coming out to support Brother Ahsa and his information. Sister Dama had a large crowd. And Brother Chihuahua's always here. Brother Ahi's here. So it's a beautiful thing. And you can contact us if you are interested in being a guest, or if you just want to hang out with us, come and hang out with us. Because we're about this type of education. We need the real deal. And I think we're getting it here. And we have an affiliate also on the website where you can see where we have Black Conscious a podcast list. So check us out. And I'm glad you came. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Each one teach one in Conscious Corner. Peace, people.